I never imagined that a single evening could unravel everything, but I learned the hard way that it wasn't the ring that ended us. It was my own words. My name is Claire, I'm 32, and until recently I genuinely believed my boyfriend Ethan would put up with almost anything I said or did. We had been together for 5 years, 5 long, comfortable, predictable years. Marriage hadn't come up formally, but everyone around us assumed it was inevitable. I assumed it too. Ethan was steady, dependable, the kind of man who made plans, paid his bills early, and never raised his voice. Back then I used to call him safe, thinking it was a compliment. He wasn't flashy, didn't chase trends, and never boasted about money. He worked hard in finance, earned a decent living, and lived within his means. I, by contrast, had a taste for the finer things: designer handbags, fancy dinners, vacations that looked glamorous on Instagram. I told myself I simply had high standards. Ethan never complained. He quietly tried to meet them in his own way. Looking back now, I can see how much thought he put into making me happy. At the time, though, I barely noticed. I was too focused on what I felt I deserved but didn't get. The night everything changed was meant to be special. Ethan had planned a dinner for just the two of us. No phones, no interruptions. That should have tipped me off that something was different, but I didn't think much of it. Maybe he wanted to discuss moving in together or plan a trip. I imagined something big. The restaurant was elegant, understated, with candles flickering softly and gentle music in the background. But Ethan was different that night. Nervous. His hands fiddled with the napkin and he barely touched his food. Halfway through dessert, he reached into his jacket pocket and my heart leapt. I thought, finally, he's going to propose. He placed a small box on the table. I remember the moment vividly, the way the candlelight glimmered across the table, the distant clink of silverware, the way he swallowed before speaking. "Claire," he said, "I know I'm not perfect, but I love you. I want to spend my life with you." He opened the box. The ring was simple. White gold, a modest diamond, classic, timeless. And the very first thought that crossed my mind wasn't about love or commitment. It was about price, style, and how it would compare to the rings I'd seen on social media. A wave of disappointment hit me like a physical blow. I didn't hide it. "That's it?" I asked. His smile froze. "What do you mean?" he asked. I tilted the box, letting the diamond catch the light. "It's small." "How much did this cost?" "About $1,500, he said quietly. I laughed, incredulous. $1,500? Ethan, are you serious? That's cheap. It's embarrassing. The word hung between us. Embarrassing. I hadn't stopped to see his face, hadn't noticed the way the room seemed to quiet around us. I pushed the box toward him. "You should take it back," I said. "I'm not wearing something like this. People will think you don't value me." He didn't respond immediately. He just looked at the ring, then at me. His expression wasn't angry, it was something heavier, quieter. Disappointment. The kind that sinks in and stays, lingering in your chest. "I worked hard for that," he said finally, his voice calm but strained. "I chose it because I thought you'd like something timeless." "Well, you thought wrong," I shot back. "If you're going to propose, at least do it properly." I expected an argument, a defense, some attempt to smooth things over. That's what he always did. But not this time. He slowly closed the box, slipped it back into his pocket, and asked the waiter for the check. The rest of dinner passed in a tense, silent blur. I told myself he was just embarrassed and that we would laugh about it later. After all, I was just being honest, right? Honesty is crucial in a relationship. I told myself that over and over. On the drive home, I tried to lighten the mood. "I didn't mean it like that," I said. "I just want something nicer." "That's not a crime," he replied. "It's not about the ring then?" I asked, frustrated. He didn't answer. When we arrived at my apartment, he didn't come inside. He handed me my purse and said he'd call later. I rolled my eyes, thinking he was overreacting. In my mind, it was a small bump. He'd exchange the ring, we'd move on. But the call never came. A day passed. Then another. My messages went unanswered. I checked his social media. Nothing unusual, no hints, no cryptic posts. And then a strange, creeping fear began to settle in. Not anger, not guilt, something colder. A quiet, unsettling dread that I had gone too far, that I had crossed a line I couldn't undo. On the third day, a single text arrived. I took the ring back. "I think we need to talk." My stomach dropped, not because of the ring but because of its tone. No apology, no explanation, just a finality I hadn't felt before. For the first time since that dinner, I realized the words I had thrown out so carelessly might have broken something deeper than I ever imagined. It wasn't the ring that ended us. It was my mouth.